So I'm out doing a maintenance on a heat pump carrier unit. Just something that I kind of ran across. It's pretty easy for anyone to kind of notice on their outdoor unit here. Is my dual capacitor had a bunch of oil. It was leaking out on this edge here. Usually that's a good indication that it's going to fail in the near future. I tested it out, and they're saying they want it plus or minus 6% of these readings of the 80 microfarad or the 7.5 microfarad for the condensing fan side. My fan side definitely was down. It was in probably like the mid sixes or something like that, and surprisingly the compressor was pretty spot on for the compressor side. Usually what I see whenever I've seen these oil leaking out of these capacitors is it's not too far behind that they're going to fail. So I just kind of let the homeowner know and let them make the decision, telling them, you're kind of doing a preventative maintenance by doing it now. They want to just go ahead and get it taken care of now before it creates an issue. Another thing that's something to look for is whenever these capacitors are going bad, typically when they've already failed, they'll actually balloon up. So this top is usually almost 100% just flat across the top, and whenever you get any kind of a bulge or a bump, it's almost 100% of the time that it's failed. Typically when I go out to those, you got your humming compressor or your humming condensing fan motor trying to start up, or it's tripped on internal thermal overload from attempting to start up so many times. But this is just a simple, easy thing to kind of run across during a general maintenance on really any air conditioning or heat pump or commercial package units, any of that kind of stuff, or even your blower motors on the indoors. Just something that's obvious to see when you start seeing oil. You're better off just replacing it. Another thing I ran into when I was just pulling off the wire, I had a really bad connection, and the wire right here literally broke the little spade off on here. So I kind of went and grabbed a new connection piece here to crimp onto the wire. But yeah, this is just a simple little maintenance tip that people can do when they're on maintenance or a service call if your system isn't working. So since the homeowner wanted to put the new dual capacitor in, we stock these turbo capacitors. They're just like a dual capacitor universal part. They've been great for us. They're really easy to put in. They have a pretty wide amount that they can do. They basically come with these little jumpers, and so this one, the old one, is a 80 microfarads for the compressor. So you basically just have to jumper. They come with these little jumpers. You jumper basically total up 80, which is the 50, the 20, and the 10. And then my compressor lead, which is this blue wire here, you just hook up to one piece on there. The middle one is your common that was going to your dual capacitor, and then your fan, you just have to look up what you have. I have a 7.5, so I can just hook it up right to that 7.5. There's nothing special I got to do. Also has an additional 2.5, so if you had a bigger capacitor you were trying to replace. I always recommend when you are replacing these, write down the capacitance on here, just so someone knows if someone tries to go back to an OEM part, they know what they need without having to make a bunch of phone calls. And then I also will date it for when I put it in. They also come with a Sharpie, so you can write this stuff on here with them, as well as a pretty well, sometimes they come with a heavier duty zip tie, but this one's not very heavy duty looking. But it comes with that zip tie in case your OEM clamp doesn't fit. You can just use that zip tie to put it back in. Hopefully you liked the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. Just to kind of get information for people who want it, here is the model number is a 25HBB360A300, and serial number is at 1809E13954. And I'm sure most people already know, but typically when you're ordering up the part, try to give them the product number. has a few extra digits at the end of it, but a lot of times at the parts houses they want the product number and not the model number. I think just hopefully you liked the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and thank you guys.